All right, welcome to the Loaded Radio Podcast. It's your destination for the latest and greatest in heavy music. I'm Scott Penfold, and today we've got a killer episode lined up for you. Okay, joining me on the show is none other than Ben Savage, guitarist for Whitechapel, one of the most devastatingly heavy bands in modern death metal, deathcore, extreme metal. Whitechapel's been pushing boundaries since their formation in 2006, and their upcoming album, Hymns In Dissonance, might be their most punishing and intense release yet. Now set to drop on March 7th via Metal Blade Records, Hymns In Dissonance promises a relentless sonic assault, featuring some of the lowest tunings the band has ever used, chillingly dark themes, and a storyline that delves deep into a cult's twisted journey. Guitarist Alex Wade has described the record as shockingly menacing and brutal, while Phil Bozeman, vocalist for the band, crafted a concept where the 7 deadly sins are transformed into evil hymns, each track fueling the cult's sinister mission. And in today's conversation, Ben and I are going to dive into the making of the new album, his personal influences, the essential records that really shaped his sound as a guitar player, and what fans can expect from Whitechapel's Hymns In Dissonance tour, which is kicking off this month. But first off, going to mention, as always, check out loadedradio.com for your daily dose of hard rock and metal news, the 24-hour live radio station, as well past episodes of this very podcast. Plus, be sure to grab the Loaded Radio app. It's completely free and available wherever you get your apps. You can also follow us on social media to stay connected with everything happening in the world of heavy music, okay? Like, follow us on YouTube, on Facebook, X, formerly Twitter. We're even on Threads and TikTok. Follow us, like us, whatever you like. And stay up to date with everything that we're doing here at Loaded Radio. Okay, so we got that out of the way. He's the guitar player from the band Whitechapel as well, co-founder of the group. His name is Ben Savage, and he's joining us right here on the Loaded Radio Podcast. Ben, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining us.
Oh, I appreciate the time and the interest.
This is my third time talking with you, and it's always a great talk. So I want to dive into the new album, though, man. Hymns In Dissonance. This is a brutal album, dude. I mean, you guys set out, I'm sure, when listening to the tracks on this album, that you guys set out to do something extremely powerful and bludgeoning. And I mean, it's even been described as Whitechapel's most heaviest album yet. Would you believe that that's the case with this one?
I think so, man. I mean, as far as the production standpoint goes, it's definitely our heaviest sounding mix. And, I mean, and the songs too. I mean, the songs we haven't had that mission statement in a long time to just write a super, just no hold barred heavy record. The past 2 records have been real, we're just having fun with it and being, experimental but still like, just exploration and sonically. But this one, we really have that game plan from the start to just write the heaviest record we could. And we haven't had that mindset, since, for a long time. So it's good to be back to the, why we started the band in the first place.
Absolutely. And I love the concept behind Hymns In Dissonance as well. I mean, it's intense. You're dealing with cults, hymns, sin. I mean, how did you guys really approach writing riffs and arrangements for this, dark lyrical theme that is the album?
Well, we write the music first. And I guess through the music, Phil came up with the concept, just kind of like listening to the song structures. And Phil's got a brilliant mind when it comes to, thinking about just like concepts and just like ideas in a very deep way. Like the lyrics are a real high point for me on the record. And, but as far as musically goes, we kind of approach it how we do every record. We kind of come in with just, each of us come in with just like song ideas we have, and we kind of skim through them all and, start a distillation process of, what's really resonating with us. And I think the first riff we all really connected with was the chorus of Prisoner 666. That was like a really unifying moment where we started kind of building a song off that. And, you just see it through to the end. It's, the process, it's like, it's fun, but it's also, you got to kind of work at it. It's a lot of crafting, a lot of, seeing each other every day. It's kind of, and just kind of whittling away like a piece of marble, just make a sculpture. So, but yeah, it's like, and we wanted the riffs to be heavier and, darker. So we kind of focused more on that. Nothing really. We wanted nothing to sound like joyful or just kind of in a more of a melodic key. But if it was going to be melodic, it had to have a sort of menacing air to it. So, we set boundaries on ourselves, really, and kind of expanded within those boundaries.
So is it, would you say that there is a linear storyline? There is a theme to the album, essentially like a front-to-back theme?
Tracks are kind of like the initiation. Like, the first song is the coming of the cult leader, and then the second song is him gathering. Yeah. And then the rest of the songs follow the 7 deadly sins. But each song, like Visceral Wretch is obviously gluttony, and Hate Cult Ritual is rage. Kind of follows that. But like each song is like a cult member going into a portal to like bring back artifacts from that sin to eventually create a temple to resurrect the cult leader's father. So with so it goes follows like a cinematic sort of storyline from beginning to end.
Now, is there a connection between this album and This Is Exile? Is there some kind of connection there?
Yeah, it's like a sequel, I'd say. Okay. In the Chapel universe, it is a sequel. And me personally, I also feel like there's a connection with this album and Valiant Kin too. It's kind of like an offshoot of the Kin album, whereas like if the evil character on Kin was actually survived at the end and created a whole nother universe. So it's kind of, I don't know, I look at it as sort of like a Star Wars world where it's like records kind of intertwine together.
So could this be the second part of an actual trilogy, do you think?
Yeah, it could. We just see where the songs take us, for the next record. Yeah. So we're already kind of, we always like whittle away at, just getting ideas down. And so that's what we're doing now. And we're getting prepared for a month-long tour right now. So
yeah,
it's just rehearsing.
You guys are working hard, man. You got some great ethic.
Yeah. It's like, I lean heavily on the other guys, just to, we all keep us kind of together.
Absolutely.
Sometimes if it was up to me, I'd be like, I don't want to respond to anything. I don't want to, sometimes I get in that mood where I'm just like, I don't want to leave the house or
Oh, I get it, man.
Yeah.
Totally get it. Believe me. I know you guys experimented with dropping to an even lower tuning, like down to drop F on like the title track of the album and stuff.
Yeah.
How did that change affect the song's impact? I mean, could we see Whitechapel exploring even lower tunings with stuff? I mean, that's pretty low, man. That's pretty heavy.
Yeah. I mean, we can't. We're open to anything, honestly. Tuning up, having different guitar tones, or at this point, it's just whatever sounds interesting to all of us, whatever kind of game plan we set and we kind of stick to. I feel like we could accomplish it. So anything's open.
You mentioned the track Visceral Wretch, and that song has been described as a version of Whitechapel that fans, I guess, that they've never really heard before. Now, what do you think makes that song so unique?
I think it's death. It's a death metal heavy stomp, it's in the spirit of like old school death metal, but it has a really new. It's got a modern production with like progressive, like song structure. I feel, and it's I'm really happy with how that song turned out. Our guitarist Zach had a lot to do with the creation of that song, and we all kind of came together and added little transitions and that whole end part and just soundscapes. So that was actually one of the first tracks that's one of the tracks like you heard the first riff of it and you're like, yeah, that's definitely got to be in a song. So Zach really focused on getting that right, and we also use a bunch of different like effects as far as like whammy goes, whammy sounds and drop tune. Guitars go lower, guitars whammy up higher, and I don't know. It's just like kind of capturing madness into a song that sounds constructed and not like too avant-garde or too out there. It just sounds like it's cohesive.
Yeah,
and it's kind of a return to form, but in our new modern way we do things.
You mentioned, classic death metal. You guys, of course, have been put under that banner. Like, well, every band in metal has to be, it seems like, categorized as deathcore. Do you guys embrace that deathcore sort of that labeling of deathcore, or how do you see yourself as a band?
Yeah, it's good. Like, we've been said like, yeah, we're like pioneers of the movement.
Yeah.
But I just want to hear music that's like just new to us. Like, we didn't set out to like rip off any bands. We saw what other bands are doing and kind of, we saw that we could do our own thing with the music, and that we could, expand on the music and, different ways. And, but yeah, we do embrace the deathcore, tag that goes with it. But we also feel like we're much more than that. But get that the term deathcore gets us in gets us involved in a scene, which is cool because they're in the scene. There's like fans of it, and they share, and but with our trajectory as a band, we've been involved in like the progressive metal scene too, and like
right,
yeah, just
metalcore, even just all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, now, hardcore and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, like even like if we are going to talk about deathcore, how do you see modern deathcore today? How do you see the scene? Do you see it flourishing? Do you see it sort of diminishing? How do you see modern deathcore?
I mean, it's bigger than it's ever been, so it's definitely flourishing. Bands seems like bands can get real popular overnight now. So I mean, it's like you can't really predict the future, but I mean, it's in a best place it's ever been. So,
are there any bands out there right now you're thinking these guys are killer? These guys are great in this scene,
in the deathcore scene?
Yeah, or even extreme metal. Like, what bands have your attention right now? Who are you thinking? Oh, these guys are excellent. Like, these guys are making a statement.
Oh, I think my favorite release like last year was that new Blood Incantation album. I was like blown away by it. It was because I loved Starspawn, Hidden History, and then this new one, they kind of followed that. They follow their muse and they have their own vision and they're executing it to perfection. And it's, I love everything that band's doing. So, and I love like, weirdo music too. Just stuff that's just like outside of the box, I don't know if Death Crypt is a band anymore, but I've been really getting into them and just the drumming of Zach Hill and all his stuff, and just crazy guitar players like Mick Barr. That's just wacky and wild. I don't know, just stuff on the fringes of what's acceptable.
Yeah,
and, that stuff really when I listen to that stuff, like when I come into Whitechapel, I can kind of project my own sort of personal preferences of what I'd like to hear in our music.
Yeah.
I just, I think Blood Incantation's great. Going back to that.
Since we're talking about, your choices, can you name for me like 3 albums that influence you as an individual the most? Like Ben Savage, like what are the albums that, like just 3 albums that you wouldn't be where you are today without them?
Oh, maybe Between the Buried and Me, Silent Circus.
Nice. Why'd you choose that one?
Because I remember when we were coming up, like me and my friends, we'd all like listen to that album a lot, and we'd like obsess over it. That one in Alaska, and I remember we just obsess over that, and definitely Opeth. As far as just being being a part of a friend group, and was really connecting with music early on. As a teenager, we'd all listen to Opeth, like Blackwater Park, Ghost Reveries, Damnation, and all that stuff was just mind-blowing. And I guess as far as like recent records, I guess in the past 15 years, I don't know, Catatonia Night is the New Day is one of my favorite metal albums of all time. So I'd say that. The records like going up, like Killswitch Engage, Alive or Just Breathing, that record is incredible.
That's a great album, man. That's a killer album. Yeah.
There's plenty more. Like I could just... 5 minutes from now, it's going to be a different pick. So,
I totally understand what you mean, man. But getting back to your album, though, I know that the album's artwork was designed by Rob Borbas, who has a strong background in tattoo artistry. What was the vision behind the album cover, and how does it tie into the music's themes?
Okay, so we really wanted an icon for the album. Coming with the with the concept of there being a cult leader. The cult leader can't just, we just wanted him to look like like a infamous face, just kind of like, like a Sauron mask or like a Michael Myers mask, or just like a, something that's easily identifiable. And I came up with the design of the look of it. It's kind of like the spider. I don't know. You could kind of connect it to a spidery skull look, because the spider kind of, represents, just like death and, just sucking, sucking energy. And it's kind of, you could kind of relate it to, us as a band too. We're in a genre of music that's not really, it's hidden away in like in the corner. Metal music isn't widely accepted, and, we're kind of like hidden away in the genre, within the genre too. So it's like, I don't know, I kind of feel a connection that way with that. And then, I don't know, there's something powerful about like the 7 orifices on the face kind of represent the 7 deadly sins too. So it's like, there's multiple factors that kind of go into just a mask. I didn't want it to feel like, oh, well, this looked cool, so it should be on the cover. No, there has to be different elements at play. So, you have a really strong connection with it. So after came up with the design of it, the look, which took months of, whittling away and trying to figure out the exact look and, brainstorming it, we, Phil found Rob online, and we knew that he could pull off making this look, realistic and making it look like fully the way it should. So we emailed with Rob, and he sent us a bunch of sketches, and we made changes and, kind of whittled away at that for a few months until the look was perfect. And, that's how that happened.
It's cool, man. It's a great cover too. I mean, of course, you got the big tour you were talking about earlier. That's coming up with Brand of Sacrifice, 200 Stab Wounds, Alluvial's on there as well. What excites you most about this lineup? And are there any songs from Hymns In Dissonance that you're really looking forward to playing live?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to play all the songs. I think Abysmal Gospel is one of my favorites on the record. Probably won't play that on this tour, but like any upcoming tours, we'll probably do that. But I really love the first track, Prisoner 666. That's going to be an epic one. But I missed your first question though.
No, just what you think about the lineup of the bands that you're touring with, like Brand of Sacrifice, 200 Stab Wounds, and Alluvial. Like, are you excited about going on the road with these guys?
Yeah. Very excited. Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun tour. Looking forward to, seeing all the bands and meeting them, maybe stealing some guitar lessons from Alluvial guitarist, Wes Houch, because he's a maniac. Yeah. So I just want to learn, I always try to like learn from like other, musicians on the road. It's just like free guitar lessons from like great guitar players. Like the last tour, I was like picking Adam from Lorna Shore's brain, and
that'd have been cool, dude.
Cody from Sanguisugabog. He's a great guitar player.
Oh, I love those guys. They're great. Yeah.
Yeah. So I always try to get in some knowledge where I can. I have the opportunity, so might as well make use of it.
And when it comes to being live, you guys have always delivered like intense live performances, man. And I got to ask, like, how do you approach translating that dense, crushing sound from the record to a live show? Because like you guys do it so well, man. Like you guys crush live.
Oh, thank you. Well, we have a lot of audiophiles in the band that are just really hell bent on getting, or Zach, he gets like the tones for our live sound, and our sound engineer Brandon Cagle, he does a fantastic job mixing us live, and he actually used to play guitar in the band too, and but he does live sound now, and he absolutely crushes it. So just have be knowledgeable on tone, find out what you like, what sounds good, isn't too ear piercing. And get a good, front of house engineer.
Yeah, that always helps, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to ask you too. I mean, going back to 2006, I mean, almost 20 years, man. First, when this band first got going, looking back, are you satisfied? Do you think that we have done, or at least I have done everything I wanted to do with Whitechapel in this time? And can you believe it's been this long?
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it feels. Yeah, it feels like surreal. It's like how long it's been.
Like it was essentially you and Phil in the beginning, man. Essentially, I mean, that was like the core.
Yeah. We started the band because we weren't satisfied with the current musical projects we were doing. We felt restricted, and we wanted to be able to write our own music without getting in arguments and getting in fights with other band members.
Sure.
So we just started the band in our sound engineer Brandon Cagle's his mom's basement, and we just wrote songs, and it was fun. You just get off work. I used to work at a deli, and after work I'd drive to Brandon's house, and we just write songs, and it was so fun. And so we were lucky enough to find some other players in the band, and Alex Wade, he was in other bands that played around the region, so getting him in the band really helped with booking shows outside of our city. And it's like, I don't know, it feels crazy. And just everything in between here and then and now is wild. Just a big learning experience. And that's the thing with music too, because you can't really predict the waves. It's not like, this, like the stock market or something. Sometimes you could, you predict what's happening, but a lot of the times you can't. So it's kind of like that tenfold with music. But it's just being sticking around throughout everything.
Yeah,
being influenced. Been influenced by just everything that's come up. There's so much music that has came up that we've been influenced by since the beginning. That's taken us this far. We're still influenced by stuff that's coming out and like stuff that we started out with, and I feel we're in a good position now. So it's been a struggle a lot of the times too, just to stay mentally there. When you're touring and writing records, it's like a constant roller coaster. So I've learned to be more kind of a little more meditative, and not just let my thoughts just go crazy, reel it in.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, and you guys have had your share of drummers too. I wanted to ask you about that. Why do you think that is?
It's just a series of unfortunate events.
Really? Is that what it is?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we're pretty chill people. It's just, people get, it's the music's very demanding, and and we couldn't really afford a drum tech for a long time. So a lot of our drummers, they'd set up their own kit, and it's over day after day. Is resentment builds and stuff. It's just like, and then other human things. Home lives come in, and it's it can get messy. So we just had a series of those unfortunate occurrences. Feels like we're cursed, but we feel lucky now to have Brandon Zacke behind the sticks. So he's been a godsend for us.
Right on, man. Well, I'm glad that it's secure now. It's almost kind of like the Spinal Tap of deathcore for a bit there,
It is. I think we have more drummers than Spinal Tap at this point. So.
That's right. What's next for Whitechapel? I mean, any plans beyond the tour? I mean, you had mentioned even begun working on new riffs and stuff. Is that really anything planned right now?
Yeah, nothing. I mean, other than the tours, musically, we're just kind of, I'm always playing guitar, always like recording and writing. Also do, my art projects. I do art, I journal, I do a bunch of stuff to keep me, mentally, focused in a good place. And, other than that, just, taking it day by day.
Right on, dude. Ben, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today, man. Always a pleasure. I'm a big fan, and, fingers crossed you guys get your way down here soon. So
cool. Well, thanks, Scott. Appreciate the time and the interest. So
of course, man, all the best, and take care. We'll see you soon.
You too. See you.
That is Ben Savage from the band Whitechapel, and the new album is called Hymns In Dissonance. Okay, and I have heard the album. It is brutal. It's pulverizing, man. It is an absolute sensory attack. If you dig deathcore, then, well, I mean, you probably do because you're listening to this podcast right now. Or if you dig metal, you dig heavy stuff, you're definitely going to want to check out Hymns In Dissonance, okay? March 7th is when that drops via Metal Blade Records. Again, check out loadedradio.com. Don't forget to do that for all your hard rock and metal news as well, content, and our big top 13 lists and all that cool stuff. Also, don't forget the 24-hour live radio stream, okay, featuring live personalities, including yours truly. And also, don't forget to download the free Loaded Radio app. Get it, for free. Price is right, yeah. And you can listen to us wherever you go and get all your latest hard rock and metal news, content, and the latest episodes of this very podcast right to your device, okay? So get on that, my friend, and I will talk to you again next week on an all-new edition of the Loaded Radio Podcast. I'm Scott Penfold for Loaded Radio, and we'll talk to you then.